Today, we are having the second keynote speaker for Career Expo 2025, Samuel Bada. Samuel Bada is a versatile human resources and organizational development expert. During the course of his career, Sam has designed and successfully deployed several HR organizational development and management consulting interventions for leading brands across diverse sectors of the economy. He is formally affiliated with a number of respectable professional bodies, which include the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Nigeria, Nigeria Institute of Training and Development, Nigerian Institute of Management, and Global Project Professionals, among others. Samuel currently leads strategy and performance management at GIG Mobility, while also doubling as a seminar leader for the Human Resources Management Program at Career Drive Academy. Career Expo 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, on the second day, can we make welcome the keynote speaker, Samuel Bada?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Mr. Alakunle, thanks for your session. I listened and even I was jotting. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for having me. I've been charged to speak on L.E.A.D, which is exactly why we're gathered here today. I would want participation. If you can use the chat section, absolutely fine. If you would want to unmute and speak, I'm fine with that. When I don't need it anymore, I will definitely let us know. But I would really love participation from everyone. Thank you. So I'm speaking on L.E.A.D, and I understand that those of us on this call, the participants, we're at different stages. I expect that there are people who are just launching. As L.E.A.D says, there are those that are the engaging part. I will put engage and accelerate to be mid-level, and I'll put dominate at the senior level. And I'm happy to say that regardless of where you are in your journey, there is something for you to take away today. Absolutely. And I say that with every level of confidence. Those that would benefit the most may then be those launching. Launching does not necessarily mean you're just getting into the world of work. It may also mean that you're switching. It may mean that you are starting something new. It may mean different things. But wherever it may be on your journey, there is definitely something for you. It is about having a solid foundation, building on it so that you can have a solid structure eventually. And that's exactly what this event has been. I joined in yesterday likewise. I've been part of most of the sessions, and even I have gained so much from all that have been discussed. The last speaker, Amaka, did justice to a lot of things, and I hope that this is something that we can all go back to even much later. Thank you very much again for having me, everyone. So I'm speaking on L.E.A.D. I have just less than 30 minutes, and I will try to do justice to what we have. First, I'd like to talk on 4 things, which will be, again, what we have: launch, engage, accelerate, and dominate. I'm trying to share my slide. Okay. I hope this is visible to everyone now.
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm speaking on these 4 things, basically. Launch. I have tagged this the birth of clarity, and I think that some things are vital, are important. If you miss it at this stage, it will be very obvious and difficult to manage at the latter part. And I will tell you why. I'll speak on engage, accelerate, and eventually how we can dominate. To dominate, for me, is becoming undeniable. Is to be at the level where you cannot be ignored. No matter what is happening, there can be competition, there can be politics, there can be business justifications, but at the level of dominate, you cannot be ignored. That's exactly what dominate is about. First, the birth of clarity. And permit me to say, I would like to just engage. I understand that some of us also on this call, especially those that are just launching into the world of work, you may be a little bit confused. I've gotten some questions for some of the people that I also mentor on my own. Questions about how do I know what is best for me? Is this supposed to be cybersecurity? Is this supposed to be data analysis? And I like to do this, first of all. Usually people get confused with a lot of conversation around emotions. The only thing is that we don't call it emotions, so we don't know that that's exactly what we are speaking to. We call it passion. Oh, just follow your passion. And it isn't bad advice. It has never been bad advice. However, it cannot be taken in isolation. I would just like to ask, for anyone who may be confused, okay, thank you very much. Yes, I got your message. Thanks, Mr. Babashola. Thank you so much. For anyone who may be confused about getting into what the world of work, finding what path is best for them, this can even be an entire session on its own. But briefly, you can just quickly ask yourself, if we were now in 2025, what would you be doing? Or what would have been your passion, in quotes? And I would just like to ask if anyone would be happy to just share. If this were not 2025, if this were the metal age, what would have been your passion? Definitely not data science. So I'd like to know. Please, you can use the chat section or you can unmute and speak. What would have been your passion if this were not 2025? What would have been your passion 20 years ago? Or what would have been your passion 30 years ago? What would it have been? Anyone? Are we confused? Event producer. Okay, thank you. Let me take you further back. If this were to be the Stone Age, what would have been your passion? Computer, hardware, software engineer. Thank you, but we wouldn't have computers in the Stone Age. And except we want to say that people in the Stone Age don't have passion. Thank you very much, Mr. Onyema. I saw your comment. Thank you. Leadership, politics. What would have been your passion if it were to be a Stone Age? Happy mommy. I like that. Sword master, absolutely. So this speaks to the fact that our passion is defined by certain things. A lot of things, actually. The timing, dispensation, your geography. What is possible where you are? What is not possible where you are cannot be your passion, except your mind can conceive it. Yes, you want to be a teacher. Okay, I mean, there are different aspects to that. You could be a religious teacher. You could be teaching the Quran or be teaching the Bible or teaching whatever. Basically, there's so many other things that we do, but it won't be any of the things that we are, in quote, passionate about today. It's not going to be human resources. It's not going to be accounting. It's not going to be data analytics. It's not going to be data science. It's not going to be any of those things. There are elements to it. And to guide, to help us. Basically, we'll be doing any of these things. It could be blacksmith, a soldier, I mean, fighting war. Instead of you're making the instruments of war, or you're fighting the war, or you're farming to feed those fighting, or you're weaving, or you're a fisherman, you're doing different things. And that would be your passion. You would be at peace with that decision. You would believe clearly that this is what God has sent you to do and nothing else. But because we are in a completely different dispensation, yes, we can now say that my passion is not making cutlass. It is manipulating data. Again, that's where dispensation comes to play. I'm saying all of this to say that don't dwell too much on the topic of passion. Just launch. For some, you may need to put your hands into a couple of things. I believe human beings can be multi-talented, and it's okay to even have more than one talent. So this is the time where if you're launching, you could explore. Absolutely fine. you would find what clicks for you. A formula I use easily for anyone, again, is that passion is important, but I would just say, I'll tone it down by saying that find that thing that you love. So you can easily eliminate those things that you hate doing. For example, I don't like doing, I'm going domestic now. This is not even job. I don't like doing the dishes. It doesn't even matter if I have to put it in a dishwasher, or I just don't like doing the dishes. I don't like cooking, for example. You'll be punishing me. If you want to punish me, just ask me to do any of these things. Now, that is what I don't like. It means that I won't find joy, I won't find fulfillment, no matter how good I become at doing those things. So in passion, I would just say those things that you love. And you will definitely love more than one thing. You just need to find out more. And that's why you need to put your foot into some of these things. You would find out what you like and what you don't like. You would definitely like more than one thing. It's not just one. So find one thing that you love, or money, all the things that you love. Secondly, something that can, let me use the word sponsor your economics. If it cannot sponsor your economics, I'm sorry, you're just it's just your hobby. It is not your profession. And please always differentiate that. A quick example would be, I was speaking with someone recently, and this person was telling me that what I love, my passion, I like to vlog. I'm a vlogger. Absolutely fine. Please don't get it twisted. There are people making mad money, if I can use that language, from vlogging. But again, at a level, it can be your profession. It can be your passion. If it cannot sponsor your economics, it may not sponsor it now, but you must see the pathway, the potential for it to sponsor your economics. If there's no pathway for you to sponsor your economics, I'm not going to ask you to stop. You can continue to do it as your hobby. It is not necessarily going to be your profession. Your profession must also be able to sponsor your economics. If it cannot, it is simply, you can have passion for a million things. Your passion can be playing golf. Doesn't mean you will make money from playing golf. A lot of us here may have passion for playing football, but realistically, we may not be able to make money from playing football anymore. But yes, you can continue to play. I play football every week, but I will be dense, I will be stupid to say that at this moment, that is what is meant to sponsor my economics. I hope that is clear in terms of launching. And I'm moving straight into the next thing. As you're launching and as you're at the engagement point, there's something very important. Ladies in the house, what does this signify? Any lady? I mean, I'll be surprised if a guy gets it anyway. And I don't know. Let me see. Let me see who gets it first. What does it signify?
Foundation, makeup.
Foundation. Thank you. Who was that? That sounds like Toyisola.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Peter Akintunde said makeup. I want to talk to a lady. If you're a lady and you're happy to volunteer, I'm not going to ask you any difficult question. I just need your help, because you will know these things better. Any lady will be happy to talk to me. I just want to ask you some questions about makeup. Any lady?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm available.
Okay, thank you. What's your name, please?
My name is Gloria.
Okay, thank you. Do you use makeup?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you help us? Walk us through. What do you do? Just walk us through it.
Is it like, what do I do? Like my job or what?
No, not your job. How do you do your makeup?
Oh, okay. First of all, I use white, clean my face.
Wipes. Okay.
If I have time, that's when I will start from one to the other. There is a cream, I can't remember the name. I'll use first and wait for it to dry. When it dries, then I can now apply the foundation. Then there are other ones, not just this one. You put the concealer, the contour, you use the blending brush, blend, after everything, you now know whether you want to use eyeshadow based on the clothes you're wearing. Based on the clothes you're wearing.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, do you want to continue?
Yes, sorry. So if you want to go on eyelash, you can quickly fix it. And then the spray, the makeup spray. It takes time though. And then the lipstick, choose the color you want and apply it. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So the first thing, you do the wipes and then clean your face. Then you mentioned one white stuff. Then after then you went to the foundation. And then you mentioned a lot of other things that I'm unable to name now. I just want to be sure that my understanding captures exactly what the process looks like. That means after doing the preparation, the first thing that you add is the foundation. And I like the name, foundation. I don't know if that name was taken from building, but I know what foundation means for a building. And again, because I'm moving from launching to engagement, to engaging, and that's why I'm looking at foundation. I know this will mean a lot to women, but men, absolutely, there's so much for us to learn on this. At that foundation stage, you want to, at that launching stage, rather, you want to make sure that your foundation is there. That's the first thing that you put there. For men, you can also picture this, or you can picture a building. If your foundation is not solid enough, I'll bring this to life, and I'll be very clear. At the very early stage of your profession or whatever path you may take, your foundation is so important. This is not the time for you to be a specialist. I have no issues with specialists. I function as a specialist, I function as a generalist, but as you're launching, you want to be a generalist. Have you ever seen anyone, for those of us who are in the world of work, anyone in your field, regardless of your field, who are maybe at senior level or mid level, and you find out that it seems like maybe they missed some lessons at the foundational stage. Have you seen anyone like that? Have you? It's a good question. You don't have to tell me because other people in your organization may be on this call anyway. But have you just imagine? Have you seen anyone that you may think that this person doesn't know this thing? I mean, did they miss the class when they were being taught this thing, or they never did this when in their early stage? And that's a big problem. Once you have that dent, it becomes very difficult for you to manage. It goes with you. In fact, it will cost you more in the later years of your career. There's so much importance for you to be a generalist regardless of your profession. At the moment when you are launching, it's not the time to say, I'm a tester, and that is absolutely the only thing you know in tech, or I'm a QA, I'm just a data analyst. You have no domain knowledge. You will soon be as useless as anything. As you're launching, this is time for an horizontal expansion, not just vertical. You're learning so much from so many things. You are being a generalist, not just a specialist. the foundation has to be as solid as possible. These are things that you won't be able to learn at the latter years. And I'll just quickly run through certain things that are like very important, critical. I understand that time is also a constraint. As you're engaging likewise, certain things are critical. First, I would like to say clearly, again, building on you being a generalist at the early stage, I always advise people, if you're starting, as much as possible, try to get into a fast-paced organization as you're starting. Fast-paced that also gives you that generalist option. An example of it will be consulting, and it doesn't have to be consulting. There are lots of such organizations. Where exactly I'm going to is that what you need at that point is a generalist knowledge. You want to know as much as possible. You cannot be streamlined, especially in the first 2 years. And as you even move forward, you can then decide to become a specialist. Certain things that would help you in engaging at that point will be your positioning, your penetration, how you get into the organization, how you position, how you have to go beyond what your JD speaks. You have to do more than what you're asked. You have to just picture this. 2 people were sent to make a survey, market survey, and both of them came back. The first person gave the market survey that, okay, yeah, we sell this product. We found out that we have competitors, and then this is what they do. And this is the amount that they sell theirs. This is the difference. The second person came and gave so much more details. This is what is happening. This is what the market share looks like, going beyond the scope of the work. This is not, I know there's a lot of language going on, a lot of jargon, quiet quitting, and a lot of things going on in the world of work. Absolutely, there can be justification. But if you consider things from the aspect of doing yourself a favor and not doing whoever, your colleague, your line manager, or your employer a favor, you would have an unparalleled commitment to what you do. There's a 10,000 law, and there's a way it works. The more you do something, the better you become at it. You learned how to walk by walking. You learned how to talk by talking. But if you decide to stop talking, or you decide to stop walking because you think that you don't want to do your line manager or your colleague or your employer certain favor, then you are doing a disservice to yourself. And that's really the art of getting to this. You make sure that you go above and beyond. Another thing is managing up, especially at the early stage of your career and mid-level, until you get to senior level. Bulk of what you'll be doing will be managing up, because you will have more people above you than you probably have below you. You have a lot to do in terms of managing up. You cannot go beyond the level of your politics. You cannot in any organization whatsoever. And when I say politics, I don't mean the little organizational politics or company politics. I'm talking about managing your boss. This is not just your boss now managing you. This is you managing your boss. You're managing expectation. You're managing deliverables. You're managing timeline. Let me see how best to put this for us to get this. When you work in an organization and you have a manager, forget about the title manager. Take it that your number one job is to manage that person. The person is above you. Take it that your job is to manage that person. 2 things that I think will help quickly will be: 1, make it a point of duty that your boss never ask you for any deliverable. Like, never. Your boss never ask you. And for that to happen, it means that you've constantly had communication. You're giving updates. It's part of managing up. Even when you don't have that deliverable. I've been in different situations where I don't have my deliverables, but I've been able to maintain certain level of relevance in every place that I've worked in. I don't like mentioning myself, but permit me. Everywhere that I've worked in every organization, it's been difficult to want to let me go. As a matter of fact, I've worked in quite a number of organizations. I don't think that any organizations, and they're not like just any organization, I don't think any one of them has ever accepted back their ID card from me. I mean, basically they say that, you know what, just stay and see how we can maybe do one or two projects maybe later. That's usually what the case is everywhere I go. Again, this is very important, especially if you're at that mid-level stage. And I'm going forward now to saying accelerating, and then we'll talk about dominating quickly. Certain indices are critical, especially if you're at that stage of your career. I'll just run through this quickly. Your employability index, your competence matrix, business significance, indispensability index, and your economic engine. Quickly, employability index doesn't necessarily mean that you're out of work and then you want to get employment. It can mean your employability index even with your employer while you're employed. What is your employability index? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself? And you have to be completely honest with yourself. If you are not honest with yourself, you're just shooting yourself in the leg. How employable are you, even to your employer? What that means is that anything can happen. There could be business justification, there could be redundancy, there could be different reasons why certain persons have to go. What will determine those that will be kept? Again, part of it is your employability index. You need to look at your competence matrix. What are those things that you should have at this level? Technical skills or not, behavioral or not. What are those things that you should have? How many of those things do you have? What level are you? You should be able to list out your competence matrix. It can be as simple as knowledge of, I mean, Amaka said something about everybody has to know Excel. For example, what level are you on that? That you were employed 2 years ago at a particular level doesn't mean that you can sustain that on that particular level. Likewise. Again, another thing is business significance. What's the significance of what you do to the organization that you are in? If you can judge these things, if you will be honest with yourself, if the solutions you prefer, if what you do not have much business significance, it cannot be tied to the continuous excellence of the organization. You are as good as being insignificant to the organization. And it's just a matter of time. Again, another thing is your indispensability index. This is how easy is it to just let go of this person? I mean, are you the kind of employee that the employer or any employer can just let go without blinking? Like, what is your indispensability index? Are you even indispensable at all? Again, how do you build all of this? I'm about to say something controversial, but I want you to be very careful not to misquote me. I push for people having work-life balance, which is important. Because I said something early on at the beginning of this session, and I said that when you launch or when you're launching, there are certain things that are important. One of it being a generalist, and then also making sure that you tick every box. You want to go as fast as possible. How can you go as fast as possible? You must have seen people scale within the space of 2 years, within the space of 4 years, what took some others 10, 15 years to get to that level. I've seen it happen a lot. One thing is certain, you're not going to miss learning for all the years that you need to learn. What you can, however, do is to put the time together. You could streamline 10 years into 4. You could streamline 5 years into 2. Absolutely possible. I've done it. I've seen it happen with a lot of my colleagues, especially those that we've worked together with. I mean, I say it anywhere that people that we've worked together, mostly in consulting, I can 100% say that the number of years they've spent in terms of work experience isn't the actual number of years. Absolutely. And one thing is certain, if you are the type that want to streamline 5 years into 2, 10 years into 4, there will be negotiation. You will have to negotiate certain things. One of those things that you probably have to negotiate is your comfort. And don't be shy. Don't be shy about it. I understand work-life balance, absolutely important. But the question is, how badly do you want this? How badly are you able to negotiate your comfort? It's a question, comfort or accelerated advancement, which exactly will it be? Because to be honest, you cannot demand work-life balance on one hand and also expect advancement, speedy advancement at the same time. It's never going to happen. I'm telling you, cannot demand work-life balance and expect speedy advancement at the same time. You have to work. You have to put in the work. You have to grind. You have to go beyond limits. You have to stretch yourself. You have to pay the cost. The question is, do you want ease or do you want accelerated advancement? Because at the point where you want to accelerate, that is what will lead to your dominion. Dominion, as I said from the very beginning, it is not about competition. It is not about every other person around you. It's not about the noise. It is about being undeniable. It's about being impossible to be ignored. I'm not sure if that exactly captures it, but to be impossible to be ignored is a dominating factor that you cannot fathom what that will mean. It means that regardless of what is happening, regardless of certain politics or whatever it is that may be going on around you, in your space, even in your absence, you are undeniable. You cannot be ignored. Again, the question comes to you, comfort or your accelerated advancement? Do you want to put in the work to get that speed, to get that acceleration for you to get to that dominating aspect of your career? And again, I like to bring this to perspective as I bring this session to a close quickly. It's easy to put all of these things together and at the end you feel motivated, or maybe you've written down 1 or 2 punchlines. It is not about the punchline that you can go and post on your WhatsApp status. I mean, it's fine, but I'm saying that beyond that, it's absolutely good to also give a realistic preview of what to expect. That means during the course of your journey, certain things may happen. It may not be as smooth as it may look from afar. And I like to say this so as to make it realistic. There are times when there may be some gallop. Yeah. While the image is developing, doesn't mean that you leave this session today and then next interview you go to straight up, you get the job. It can happen that way. And it may not necessarily be that next one. But if you keep at it and then you understand that at certain points, there may be quietness. What you do when the image is developing is that you stay quiet. It's called the stasis. I call it the stasis outlook. What people may easily expect is what you have on the left side of what I'm projecting. That's A. And your life may not necessarily be that, because by the time you zoom in A, you will find out it actually looks like B. There are times where you're just going horizontal before you go vertical again. But absolutely, in the long run, what B is projecting is going to be A. I'm doing this to give a realistic preview of what to expect. Lastly, just before I close, again, for emphasis, domination is not about competition. You can meet people in certain places, in certain organizations, in certain settings, but if you have that distinction, regardless of whoever or whatever, again, you'll be undeniable. you cannot be ignored. It is not necessarily running faster than others. Absolutely, you can. But beyond that, it is about going in a way that it's distinct. It's simple. If what you are doing cannot get you to a point, if the way you are going about it cannot get you to a point where you cannot be ignored, then you are not dominating. Dominating is that regardless of where you are, even in your absence, you definitely cannot be ignored. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much for the honor. Thank you to the team. Thank you, Bolu Atife, and everyone. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again some other time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, SB. This has really been an insightful session, if you would ask me. And alongside others, it's been like a roller coaster ride of lots and lots of um, things to keep learning. It's like when you're done with a particular session, the next session becomes for a lack of a better phrase. There's fire in the next sessions. If you assume that you had seen, it's like an adage where they say that you think you've seen it all, but hey, you're just seeing every bit of it as it unfolds. So, like, say a big thank you to you, SB, for that amazing session. Please let's give a round of applause to SB for taking us through that session. Basically, thank you so much.